In this video, we're going to go over how to rewire your brain for maximum success. Now, this is going to be one of the most important lectures that you watch in this entire program. And the reason for that is your mindset is the most important factor when it comes to accomplishing any type of success, whether it be in business, personal, whatever that may be. Because if you don't believe that you can accomplish something, if you don't have your mind in the right place, then you can have all of the skills, you can have all the capabilities, all the knowledge, and everything else that you need to succeed. However, you're not going to take action on that because your beliefs about yourself and your capabilities are not going to be aligned. And then also your identity as far as who you are. Because if you have all the skills that are necessary as far as generating leads, as far as being able to deliver results for clients, whether it be on Facebook, Google, whatever digital marketing skill that may be, right? If you don't have the right mindset, if you're not going in the right direction, then all that skill, all those capabilities are going to be all for naught. So we're going to cover a success consciousness. And what I mean by this is essentially having a state of mind where you see opportunities where others may see obstacles, okay? Because whatever happens to us, regardless of how we see it, right? If it's negative, if it's positive, there's always something to learn from that situation. And it's all about the meaning that we're attaching to it. Because let's say something happens and we see it as a negative, as a problem. Well, we want to be able to turn that into an opportunity, and where we can look at everything that happens to us not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, to be able to collect data, to be able to modify and adjust our actions, right? If we're not getting the right type of result. And so being able to develop a state of mind where we see opportunities where others see obstacles is extremely important. And you're going to learn how to be able to develop that kind of mindset in this lesson here. Now, along with that, it's about having the desire to move forward and to evaluate exactly what's happening within our awareness and be able to make educated decisions to move forward towards our goal, regardless of what's happening in our life, in our business, in our current situation, because we know that it's simply just temporary, right? And that we're going to be able to get over it. And it's just a matter of understanding our current situation and being able to develop different strategies, different methods to be able to overcome whatever it is that we're going through. So let's go right ahead and jump in here. So the 5 areas that we're going to cover in this lesson here is going to be number 1, the DILT model of change. This is a powerful mental model that you're going to be able to use whenever you have any type of problem, any type of obstacle that arises. You're going to be able to use this to your advantage to be able to come up with a viable solution to that particular problem. You can think of the DILT model of change as a model of success, as a mental model that allows you to understand where you're currently lacking in one particular area and what you need to do to increase and improve that particular area and how everything else is affected. Okay, so we're going to get into that very much so in depth. I just want to go over what we're covering in this lesson here. And then the next section, we're going to cover the conscious and unconscious mind, the roles that they play. Because believe it or not, the unconscious mind is where we store a lot of our memories, a lot of our experiences, a lot of the different things that happen to us and that we do, right, unknowingly, and that we think that we're consciously in control of. So we're going to look at the differences between the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, how they both work together to allow us to create our own reality and really create our life, our experiences, and what we deem to be true or not true in our life. And then we have the power of cause and effect. Now, this is a very important concept here that allows us to understand that everything that we're doing is causing some sort of effect, whether we are aware of it or not. And that's a lot of times where we fall short in understanding our behavior, the consequences, the implications of what we're doing and what we're not doing. And so we're going to look at the implications of cause and effect and where we can understand how to use this to our advantage. And then we have how to increase your awareness. When it comes to making any type of change in our life, whether it be in our personal life, business life, we first need to become aware that a problem exists and that something is, within our unconscious awareness, because a lot of what we're doing and the actions, the decisions that we're making is in our unconscious, right? And so we are just doing things and we think that we're consciously making these decisions and taking these actions. However, it's all unconscious, and we want to bring light to that, right? We want to bring awareness to those issues, those problems, those frames of mind that we're using to look at the world, right? And a lot of times we have negative views on how things are and how things should be, and where we often tend to be the victim and place blame on others, when we need to be looking at ourselves and looking at our situation and being able to bring awareness to different areas where we may be looking at things not from the best perspective or from the best point of view, right? And so this is where we're going to increase the awareness by being able to shine light into those areas that are not serving us. And then finally, we have the 4 pillars of success. And this is where we're going to go over knowing exactly what we want and being able to understand what type of result that's going to produce, and then being able to know that we have to take action once we know exactly what we want. And then being able to gather information, gather data, gather feedback, and then also understanding once we gather that feedback, once we gather that data, that we must have some sort of flexibility and understanding that not everything is going to be exactly how we planned it to be, right? Success is never going to be a straight line. There's going to be a lot of different ups and downs. There's going to be, different forks in the road that we need to, take left, take a right. But understanding this, and we're going to go into the 4 pillars of success very much so in detail, but I just wanted to give you here an overview of what we're going to be covering in this lesson here. This is going to be a bit long. However, I want you to understand that this particular lesson is most likely going to be the most important one that you go through, and that you may need to go through a few times, because this is creating for you your success mindset, right? It's allowing you to be able to create a mindset where you are looking at everything as opportunities for growth, where others are looking at things as obstacles. And so this is going to give you a huge advantage in being able to go after your goals, accomplish what you want to accomplish, and having the success that you want to have. So let's go right ahead and jump in here. Okay, so let's talk about the DILT model of change. Now, this is a model here that was created by Robert Dilts. His background is in NLP, and so he created this model here so that we can use this to be able to create different levels of change in our lives. And so when we look at this model here, we can see that at the very top, we have vision, then we have identity, then we have beliefs and values, capabilities, behavior, and environment. Okay? And so looking at the very top there, we have the vision. This is the big picture here. This is looking at what do we want to accomplish? What does that look like? Where do we want to work? Where do we want to live? What type of agency do we want to have? And so this is really about creating your vision as to exactly how you want your life to look like. And so once you can start with the big picture, 50,000 foot view as far as, hey, I want to be able to live in this area. I want to be making this amount of money each month. I want to be able to, go on different trips around the world. I want to be able to do X. I want to do Y, right? And we have several worksheets that you're going to be able to utilize to be able to lay out your vision, exactly how you want that to look like. And then we have the identity. This is where you need to be able to be a certain person, right, in order for you to have that vision come into fruition. Because if you're not the person that's going to take the action, that's going to do everything that you need to do, and you see yourself as that person that is accomplishing everything in your vision, right, then it's going to be a problem for you to be able to actualize that. So you need to see yourself as that person that can make things happen, that can actualize your vision. And then it comes down to your beliefs and your values. And so when we look at the beliefs and values, this is everything that we believe and that we value and hold important to us. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to beliefs, this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, Because if you believe that you are a person that is likable, that has a lot of important things to say, is of high value to society and to the world, then guess what? You're going to get that in return from the external world because you're going to act in accordance to that, right? And so if you believe that you're not very good at things and that you don't have very much value and that you don't have very much skill and you have low self-value and self-worth, then that is going to be reflected into the external world. People are not going to see you as somebody who's very likable, very social, very engaging, because that's how you're feeling inside, right? And so that's going to manifest itself in the external world. So you need to understand that beliefs are something that are created through our experiences, the meanings that we have attached to them, and then they can easily be changed and modified to something else, because a belief is something that is created because something has happened to us, okay? And then we've attached a certain meaning to that particular situation. Just think about if you, when you were younger and you were trying to, go after a girl, or you were trying to go after the opposite sex, and you got denied or you got rejected. And so now, when you were younger, that feeling that you got when you got rejected, or you were told that you were, quote unquote, ugly, or whatever that may be, right? That negative experience will then manifest itself into your adult life as well. And so you'll have this thought, this idea that you're not very attractive, that people don't find you as somebody who is attractive in general, and where others don't see you as somebody who is good looking, very engaging, very likable, right? Because of that experience that you had when you were younger, you attached a meaning to that as, you know what, I'm not very desirable. I'm not somebody who is very attractive. And so that manifests itself into your external world as you grow up. And it isn't until you become aware of that and you acknowledge and understand that, you know what, this is something that has been with me for a while. I, can remember that I feel this way because of things that happened to me when I was younger and the meanings that I attached, right? This is one of the biggest things with increasing your awareness, is bringing light and awareness to what type of beliefs you currently have and how they're not serving you, right? And so we must be able to have an understanding of what kind of person we want to be, and then making sure that our beliefs are aligned with that, because the identity and beliefs are both connected, right? Your identity shapes your beliefs, and then your beliefs shape your identity, because your identity may be that, hey, I see myself extremely likable, extremely, outgoing as far as engaging with people, with individuals. I'm very likable, and that's how I see myself, right? That's my identity that I have for myself. And then my beliefs are going to reflect that as far as me being able to believe that I'm capable of doing certain things. It's this big circle, it's this big loop, okay? Where your identity is shaping your beliefs are shaping your identity, and it's this back and forth, right? But when we think about the identity, we just think about who we are, who do we want to become, who do we need to transform into so that we can, actually actualize our vision. And then the beliefs, this is our why. Why do we want to accomplish our vision? Okay? Why is that important to us? And why is that important to us going down 3 levels? Okay? So think about it this way. Whenever you're asking yourself as far as, okay, your vision, this is my vision that I have. Okay, this is the identity that I need to become. And then you're asking yourself, okay, why is that important to me? Okay? And you're going to get a reason. Let's say, you want to make more money. You want to be able to, have, financial independence, financial freedom. Okay, great. Now, why is that important to you? Okay? Having the financial freedom, making a lot of money. And then, you can say, well, I want to be able to have the freedom, the ability to be able to travel the world, to not have any kind of boss looking over my shoulder, to be able to have peace of mind knowing that I am creating my own life and that nobody is, looking over my shoulder and telling me when I need to come into work or do whatever I need to do, right? And this is the final layer here. And so this really wraps everything up, and it really gives us the real reason and the real reasons really why we want to do this. And so we say, okay, ultimately, what would that do for you? And so this is where we find the root cause here. And a lot of this may come from things that you really need to think about. And you really need to go deep into thought, because a lot of the reasons why here is because you want to be able to prove others wrong and show to others that, you know what, I am capable of making this happen, of doing big things. Because a lot of us, when we're, in our entrepreneurship journey, we have our family, our friends that are, there for us, and they're providing some level of support. However, you want to think about it this way. When it comes to your friends and family, a lot of them will support you in some sort of way. However, as soon as you start getting more success than they have, or more successful than they are, then comes a little bit of hate, and then comes a little bit of, dissatisfaction, and where they're actually bringing you down. So understand that your ultimate reason why, and where if you can go 3 levels deep, this is going to help you understand why this is important to you. Because you'll end up finding that, the money, all these different resources, and all these different material things are really just surface level. And when we really look at what's the real reasons why we're doing what we're doing, you'll find that they don't have really much to do with making money. It's oftentimes deeper than that. And so understanding the roles that our identity play, our beliefs play, and then how that comes into play with our capabilities. And so this is our knowledge and our skills. In order for us to be able to actualize our vision and accomplish our goals, we have to gain certain knowledge and develop certain skills. And you're gathering that knowledge and those skills by going through this course. So you're going to develop your vision, and you're going to create your identity as far as who you need to become. And then you're going to shape your beliefs. And we have different worksheets that you're going to be able to use to create these. And then by going through this course here, you're developing your skills, your knowledge, right? And your capabilities to be able to take action on what you're learning. And then we have behavior. So you have the skills, you have the knowledge. Now it's about doing what you need to do. And it's really about doing what you say that you're going to do. Because if you have your identity in place, right? You know who you need to become, and you have your beliefs. You believe in your ability to get things done. And then you have the capabilities, you have the skills, you have the knowledge. And then if you don't take action and, use the actual skills and knowledge that you have, then you're not going to be able to move towards your goals and your vision, right? It's about that behavior, because it's not about what you know, it's about what you do. And if you can hold yourself accountable and actually do what you say that you're going to do, this is going to make a world of difference, because it's about taking action and gathering feedback. And then finally, we have the environment. This is your circle of influence. And so when you look at the environment here, this can be your home, who you're living with, your family. Are you living by yourself? Do you have your own place? Or are you living at home with your parents? How is that affecting you in your business life, right? As far as being able to take action on your goals, and to be able to develop new skills, right? New knowledge, new capabilities. Is that something that is a problem for you? Because if you are in the wrong environment, if you have the wrong circle of influence around you, then it's going to be very difficult for you to, take action and to really develop yourself into the kind of person that you need to become to actualize your goals and your vision. Because you're going to have people in your circle of influence telling you all these different things. You don't really know as far as their intention and what they're trying to do. Because remember, you have to understand that your friends, your family, for the most part, your environment, people are not going to be as supportive when they see you that you're doing bigger and better things than they are. Because they're going to have to come to the realization as far as, well, what am I doing? When you look at your friends, you can really look at your future. So understand that if you are in a negative environment, if you're living at home, if you have your parents who are not supportive of your endeavors, of your journey, of what you're trying to accomplish, same thing with your friends, right? Then you're going to need to isolate yourself and maybe go out and get your own place, and then get yourself to the point where you're surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals that have your best interest at heart. Now, going through this course here, you're going to learn how to develop your vision, how to really understand and figure out what you want to accomplish, right? What you want your life to look like. And then also you're going to have some exercises as to how to develop your identity. And then with reprogramming your mind by having different beliefs, different ways of looking at the world, and where you can have different paradigm shifts because you are literally rewiring your brain to be able to accept these new beliefs as true, because ultimately limitations as far as what we can accomplish do not exist. They only exist in our mind. And so if we believe that we cannot do something, then guess what? Our actions, our capabilities, our behavior, our environment, everything there is going to play a factor in actualizing that and having that be true. And if we can believe that we can accomplish great things, then guess what? Our capabilities, our behavior, our action, our environment is all going to come into alignment and be congruent and actualize that, right? And then your capabilities, you're learning all the skills that you need to succeed in here. You're learning digital marketing, you're learning funnel building, you're learning Facebook ads, Google ads, right? You are going to be a digital marketing expert after you go through this program. But then making sure that once you learn these skills and you learn these new capabilities, that you're able to take action with your behavior. Because if you don't take action on what you learn, then it's going to be all for naught, right? A lot of people out there will go through a course, they'll take in the information, they'll learn the skills, they'll learn all these different, capabilities and different ways to, get customers or do whatever, right? But then they'll never take action. So this model here is extremely powerful for not only being able to actualize your vision and being able to identify different areas where you need to work on. This is also a great model for problem solving. So anytime you have any type of problem, issue, obstacle that you may be going through, right? You want to come here and you want to look at the models of change. And so what this will allow you to do is look at which particular area am I struggling with, or do I have a problem, right? Let's say that you are being able to take action on what you're learning. You have all your capabilities. You are, taking action. You're doing what you need to do. But then your environment is not a great place. Maybe you're getting pushback from your parents that you should get a real job and that you shouldn't, continue doing what you're doing. Well, okay. That means that you need to change your environment and your circle of influence to be able to, get back in congruence with what you're looking to accomplish, right? Another example here is your behavior. So let's say that you are getting all the skills, you're going through the course, you're learning all the material, you're learning how to use Facebook ads, Google ads, but for whatever reason, you're just not taking action, right? And so if you have the skills and the capabilities and the knowledge, what could be the problem? Well, it's most likely going to be with your beliefs and your values, because you don't believe that you have enough skill or that you're knowledgeable enough or that you're an expert. And so that's going to reflect onto your behavior, right? Because if you have all the skills that you need to succeed, if you know more than that business owner, if you can communicate effectively as far as the value that you can provide to a client, then why aren't you taking action, right? Very, very simple. We have the skills, you have the knowledge, you have the capabilities. Why aren't you doing what you need to do? You want everything to be perfect before you even make a move. And that's where I see a lot of people struggling in business and just in life in general, is that they believe that everything needs to be perfect, or that they need to know one more thing or this extra piece of information and then I'll be ready. Well, then you're never going to take action, because it's never going to be perfect, right? Perfect is an illusion. It's something that each one of us can create in our mind. And one person can think that this is perfect. Another person can think, whoa, there's so much work to be done here, right? So use this powerful model here to come back and look at different situations, different areas of your life, why you're not getting the results that you're, wanting to get, and how you can work on different areas, right? If you're not taking that action, then you need to do something with your beliefs. You need to reprogram your mind by writing some affirmations, and we're going to go through that in this program. So I like to use this as a mental model for laying out exactly what I want and what I need to do and to have my vision ultimately actualized. So now let's go over the conscious and unconscious mind. Now, this is something that is extremely important for you to understand here, because as you can see from the picture there, the conscious mind is just literally the tip of the iceberg. Everything else that really guides how we act, the decisions that we make, the actions that we take, is really all guided by our unconscious. So let's first look at the conscious mind here. With the conscious mind, this is our conscious awareness. So think of yourself as a captain that's navigating a ship, okay? And in order for you to make the right decision and to, go into the right direction so you're not hitting an iceberg, right? You first must give orders to your unconscious mind or your subconscious mind. And this is through your different thoughts, images, feelings, actions, right? Emotions, which control and governs all of your experiences. This is where we create meaning. We attach meaning to whatever's happening to us, right? Whatever experience, and that past experience gives us a map of the world from which we operate. So we tend to believe that our conscious mind makes all of the decisions, right? But in reality, our unconscious mind is actually the one that's in control here. So whatever our conscious mind assumes and believes to be true, your subconscious mind will accept and bring to pass, okay? This is very important here, because if you have a belief that you are not very good at math, or that you're not very good with the opposite sex, you're not very attractive, well, guess what? Your unconscious mind is going to accept that and bring that to pass. And then your conscious mind is going to go out, you're going to go out and actually do things that reflect and that manifests itself in that manner, because that is what you believe. And so your unconscious mind is literally just a program where you're programming it with different types of information, right? Just think about when you're watching TV or when you're watching different shows, all of that is programming you. It's programming your unconscious. And so when we can reprogram our unconscious mind through affirmations, through going through different exercises that you're going to go through in this program, then that is what is going to be accepted and bring to pass. Because the unconscious mind doesn't judge, it's not going to tell you whether something is wrong or something is right. It's all on what you want and what you believe and what you're actually accepting, right? And so if you think good, then good will follow. If you think you're a likable person, if you think that you can overcome anything that comes into your way, and that you are a very powerful person that can get through anything and accomplish whatever you want to accomplish, well, hey, that's what's going to follow. If you think negative, then negativity is going to follow. And if you believe that you are a victim and that you can never do big things, well, guess what? That is what is going to follow, and that is what is going to bring to pass, right, as far as your unconscious, and then that's going to reflect into your conscious mind, right? And then that's what you're going to see in the real world. So your unconscious mind is actually the one that is steering the ship, right? Whether we know it or not. See, we think that we are making these decisions consciously, but in reality, it's all done at an unconscious level based on what we believe, what we accept to be true, and what we ultimately do. And so how we create our own reality is we represent the world internally to create our own personal and subjective realities, because every single person is going to have a different view of reality, a different perspective, because they have different experiences. They have different beliefs, right? Different views of the world. And so not any two people are going to have the same reality that they're experiencing, right? And so a good example of this is, let's say that you are cold calling businesses and you're getting rejected and it's just totally bringing you down. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm getting rejected. This sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. That's the kind of mentality that you're taking. And so that kind of experience, right, that's creating your reality. You're looking at it as something negative, as you being rejected, as it bringing you down, versus somebody else can be doing the same exact thing that you're doing. They can be doing cold calling, maybe even making more cold calls than you're doing. And they could be looking at the same exact rejection as opportunities, opportunities for growth, for being able to maybe change their pitch or maybe change their script or maybe just understand that, you know what, it's a numbers game. And so notice there how those two people are doing the same exact thing. However, the realities are different. Why? Because based on their internal experience and their internal representation of how reality is for them is what's dictating their actions, their thought processes, their reactions, right? One person is being rejected and they're looking at it as a negative and they're taking the victim mentality and that this sucks and I don't want to do this anymore. And the other person is looking at it as opportunity, as understanding that it's a numbers game and that it's not an attack on them personally, right? So the unconscious and conscious mind here, this is something that is critically important for you to understand, that your unconscious mind is really the one that's driving the ship here, okay? It's steering it in the actual direction, and that your conscious mind is just your conscious awareness, and you're going to do certain things based off of what you have stored in your unconscious mind. Let's take a look at the power of cause and effect now. This is a law of nature, okay? There's nothing that's happening in this world that didn't start with a cause and then an effect. And so everything that we currently have in our lives is an effect of a result of a specific cause, right? These causes are the decisions that we've made, that we've chosen not to make, right? And the actions that we take on a daily basis. And so our thoughts, feelings, actions, and words are a cause which create the effect, whether desirable or undesirable. If we think that we can do something, then we're going to most likely do it because we believe that we can. If we feel negative towards something, if we feel, unsure, or we have, paralysis by analysis, then we're not going to move forward and take action. And then our actions and our words, right? Words are really powerful here. Obviously, actions are extremely powerful as far as being able to take action, gather feedback, gather data. However, words, this is something that is not really talked about, and where what you say to yourself, what you say to others, how you communicate, this is huge as far as your unconscious mind, because this is going all directly to your unconscious mind as far as what you're saying to yourself, how you're talking to yourself, because you got to remember, we are awareness, right? We are conscious awareness. We are aware that we are here, that we're experiencing our lives. However, what we're saying and what we're doing, what we're experiencing, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, all of that is programming ourselves. And if we're not using the right type of thoughts, the right type of feelings, actions, and words, then guess what? We're programming ourselves, our mindset, right, for negativity, for things that are undesirable. So if we break down our lives and we look back at our experiences, we can easily identify certain specific causes of success and causes of failure. We can look back at different decisions, different ideas, different thoughts, different feelings that we had, and we can pinpoint, okay, at this time in my life, I made this decision because I felt this way and because I took this action and because, I thought that I could do this or I couldn't do that. So that's how we are actually creating this whole cause and effect. And with cause and effect, this is how we structure our beliefs. We do this naturally as far as we communicate and we say, hey, I believe that XYZ happens or is true because. And we typically don't give a reason why, because it's just a matter of, hey, this is what we believe. And oftentimes we don't really know why we believe what we believe. And it's typically from experiences, different things that happen to us, different meanings that we attach to them. And when we can just look back at our life, our experiences, and maybe our family, our environment, maybe they instilled a belief about money, a belief about accomplishments, about limitations. And so we say, hey, I can't, or it's impossible to do XYZ because I've never known anybody to, have, any kind of real success, or I've never known anybody to, accomplish big things. And so it's this whole because XYZ is true or not true because, right? So once you can understand that that's the language and the structure of belief, then we can use this to our advantage to create new and empowering beliefs, right, through our affirmations, and where we can get these to be easily accepted into our unconscious mind, right? This is us reprogramming our mind, right, for maximum success. And so this is how we're able to do this, really by creating these different affirmations, even creating a recording and saying, we believe X, or we can do X, Y, and Z because, right? And then giving a reason why. And here's the thing. We really don't even need any type of revolutionary or spectacular type of reason. It can be very simple. Hey, I believe that I can accomplish great things because I'm going to put in the necessary work so that I can make it so. Very, very simple to create different affirmations. You're going to have a worksheet that goes over, how to create different affirmations, how to create a recording of these affirmations. But this is going to be one of the most important ways that you go about reprogramming your mind. Because remember, if you're not programming your mind for success and for positive things, then it's going to be programmed for negative things and for limitations and lack. And so we want to be proactive and program and rewire our mind so that it's positive. And throughout your day, take note of any time that you state a belief, anytime that you are in communication with your friends, your family, and you are communicating, you're saying, I believe X, Y, and Z, or I think X, Y, and Z because, right? And notice all of those different times that you're using that and look to see if you can find a reason why. Why do you believe that? Was it an experience that you had? Was it information that you read somewhere online where it said that, this is a possibility or this is true or whatever that may be, right? Look to see if you can find the root cause as to why it is that you believe what you believe. And so now let's take a look at how to increase your awareness. And so here are some different things that you can do to shine a light on different areas of your life that are, having any kind of problems, any kind of issues, whether it be in your personal life or in business. This is going to give you a new perspective and a new way to look at all the things that are happening in your life so that you can shine a light onto the darkness of what you're not aware of, right? Because that's really what awareness is the shining of light into problems, into different areas that we are not familiar with or that we just don't know about. And so let's dive right into this. So the key to creating any level of change is to become consciously aware of what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and your habits. So if you're not thinking positivity, that you can make things happen and that you can overcome whatever obstacle comes in your way. And a lot of times it's really about just taking a step back and looking at the situation as an observer, not necessarily judging it. Just be like, okay, I'm observing how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, and my habits, right? And look to see if they are empowering, if they are getting you to move into the right direction that you want to move in, right? And that they are in alignment with your vision. And then notice how you react when things don't go as planned. Because remember, entrepreneurship, business, it's never really a straight line. And so there's so many different times in your life where you're going to experience ups and downs, especially in business. And if you are somebody who is just blowing things out of proportion, you're just, playing the blame game, the victim mode, like, why is this happening to me? I cannot believe it's happening to me. And why can it happen to somebody else? My life is so unique. It's so different. Nobody else is going through this, right? That's where you really want to take a step back and observe that and really look to see, okay, why am I thinking this way? Why am I feeling this way? And why is it that when something doesn't go as planned, I tend to act this way? When in reality, I need to understand that this is just all part of the game. It's just going to be about gathering data, gathering, information about what we're doing and how things are going. And if it's not going in the right way or in the right direction, then we can just modify and adjust. But if it doesn't go as planned, then hey, it's okay. We can fix it and we can make it better next time. And then notice when fear and doubt arises, because this is typically going to be around things that are going to be huge for your growth. And so anytime that you're experiencing that kind of fear, that kind of doubt, like, man, I don't know if I can do this. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I'm not good enough? Well, whenever that's happening to you, always stop and look at the situation and know that it's going to be massive growth for you on the other side of that. Okay? And so, regardless of that fear, that doubt, that indecision, when that comes to you, be quick to make a decision and take action, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how much information you have. And I'm not saying, obviously, to go in there and to take action when you don't really know what you're doing, but take action whenever you have enough information to be dangerous, right? I would say 30%, 40% of the information, right? You really want to know high level stuff. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you have gone through this course, you know how we help businesses, you know the platforms that we're using, the methods, the strategies that we're using to, be able to get leads for our customers, help them increase their revenue, right? And if you have an understanding of how that all works, then you should have no problem being able to communicate that to your prospective clients. But you thinking that you need to know exactly and precisely how to run Facebook ads and every little single detail of how the platform works, how Google ads work, right? If you feel that you need to know all of that, then that's going to be a problem for you, because you want to be able to have enough information and then be able to take action and move forward quickly, right? You don't need to know everything. You need to know just enough to be dangerous. And this is a kind of mentality that you need to be developing and really adopting into your life, is that I may be wrong, but I'm never in doubt, okay? And so this is the kind of mindset of, hey, you know what? I may be wrong as far as the action that I'm taking. However, I believe that it's the best thing for me to do. And if I mess up and if I drop the ball, then guess what? That's a learning experience. Because what ends up happening is that if you take action and you're hesitant and you're unsure and you're like on a call, let's say with the prospect, and you're not really confident in yourself and your ability and your ability to deliver results, then you're going to have doubt, fear, right? And that's going to come across in your communication and how you carry yourself. And so the way that you should be is, you know what? I may be wrong, but I'm never in doubt. And so you're on a call and you have the utmost confidence in yourself and your ability to deliver results, to be able to do what you need to do, to be resourceful enough to, get the results that ultimately will drive more leads and sales to that business. And let's say that you get that client on board and they pay you and you don't deliver on everything that you promised. Well, hey, you know what? That's a learning experience. And I'm not saying to take advantage of businesses. However, what I'm saying is that if you don't take action, if you don't, take action in the face of fear and doubt, then it's going to be very difficult for you to get ahead, because successful entrepreneurs will take action and figure it out as they go. While the majority of people want to make sure that they have everything perfect, that they know everything about Facebook, that they know everything about Google before they even want to take action, because they believe that they need to know all these different things, when in reality, they don't. And that will lead to indecision, to paralysis, right? So we don't want to have the mindset of, hey, I need to know everything. I need things to be perfect. You want to have the mindset of, you know what? I may be wrong, but I'm never in doubt. I'll give you another example. I remember when I was playing football and where my coach would tell me, hey, listen, if you're going to mess up, if you're going to draw a penalty, if you're going to draw a flag, if you're going to do any of that, regardless of what you're doing, do it 100%. Never be in doubt, because the time that you have any kind of doubt, any type of hesitation, that's where you're going to risk getting hurt, okay? And that's 100% true, right? Because if I'm out there on the football field and I do something that draws a flag, maybe I jump off sides, or maybe I'm blocking somebody and they call me for holding or whatever that may be, right? Regardless, I need to be doing that full force with not a single doubt in my mind, because if I have any doubt in my mind while I'm doing that and I think to myself, well, oh man, what if they call me for holding, or what if I'm not doing this right, and have all these different thoughts going through my mind, then I'm going to have hesitation and I'm going to risk getting hurt. But if I do everything, regardless if I'm doing it wrong or if I'm doing it right, if I do it all with 100% force, then the probability of me getting hurt is going to reduce significantly. So keep that in mind. Whenever you're doing something, understand that you may be wrong, but you're never in doubt. And if you're wrong, then guess what? It's a learning experience. It's a learning lesson. You get to figure it out, right? And make it better next time. That's why I really harp on this, that when you're going through this program and when you come across to a roadblock or something where you believe or you think that you don't have all the information as far as Facebook or Google, take action anyways, because then you'll be able to figure it out as you go, right? Trust in your ability to figure it out or to correct it as, the information and feedback comes back, right? And you have a choice as to how you can react in any given situation, right? You can choose to reframe and attach a positive meaning to any kind of experience that you deem to be negative, right? That's your choice. If you fail at something or you want to look at something as failure, well, guess what? You're deciding that. You get to decide if that's failure or if that's actually just feedback, right? And where you can attach a different meaning to that. So understand that we have a choice to give and attach meaning to whatever we want. And there are no mistakes, only lessons. Failed experiences are part of the process, right? As we're going through and we're building our agency and, let's say, unfortunate things happen to us. Remember, they're only lessons. They're only information that we've gathered and data that we've gathered to make things better the next time. And then over there is not better than over here. This is one of the biggest things that I see entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs go through, where they're looking at other people that are successful, they're comparing themselves to them, and so their focus is all over the place. And so what you need to understand is that the grass is not always greener on the other side. And so you need to be able to focus on what you're looking to accomplish and not worry about what others are doing and not worry about, what other business models or opportunities are out there, because everything has an opportunity cost. You need to be able to focus on one thing, which is your agency and growing this, right, to whatever levels that you want to reach. And then notice how you talk to yourself, right? And what you say. Is it positive or is it negative? Is it a soft tone or is it aggressive? Because you have to understand that this self-talk in the back of our mind is going on all day long. And this never stops, right? Especially the negativity. The negativity is always going on in the back of our mind. It's always this, thought in the back of our mind, or this voice where it's like, don't mess this up, or you shouldn't do this, or watch out for this, or watch out for that, or, maybe this isn't going to work out, right? That's always going on in the back of your mind. However, that's why you want to be able to combat that with powerful, positive type of affirmations and be able to talk to yourself in a positive light. This is where you are communicating to yourself, hey, you know what? I can do this. I'm going to be able to be successful. I'm going to make things happen. But just be aware that that negativity is always going to be there. You never lose it. You just learn to rise above it. And then finally, you are the most important person in your life. This is big here when it comes to your family, when it comes to your friends, and when it comes to what they expect from you. Let's say your family, they expect you to, let's say, get a job or maybe go to school, get an education, whatever that may be, right? Their expectations of you shouldn't have anything to do with you and how you feel about yourself, because you don't owe anybody anything. You are your own person, right? At the end of the day, nobody's going to care about you more than yourself. And that's even your family, because our family, as much as they love us and they want the best for us, oftentimes it's not necessarily the best that we want, right? Because we want big and better things, and they may have limited as far as their beliefs, their views, and they want to typically bring you back down to quote unquote reality. And so oftentimes that makes it so that we're wanting to make sure that they're happy with us and what we're doing, versus taking responsibility and accountability and being like, you know what? I'm going to do me. and I'm going to do what's the best for me. And if that means that I'm doing things that my parents or my friends don't like or don't agree with, then you know what? That's okay. Because like I said, there's nobody more important in your life than you. Okay, so let's take a look at the 4 pillars of success. So these are 4 pillars that represent what ultimately success comes down to, okay? And the first one here is outcomes. And so if we want to reach any level of success, we have to know exactly what we want and the end result that it produces. So if we don't know exactly what we want, then how are we going to move towards something, right? We have to be crystal clear on our outcomes. And this is different than goals, right? Goals are more high level. Hey, I want to lose weight. Outcomes are the direct result, such as lose 25 pounds. So once we know exactly what we want and we're crystal clear about our outcome, then we need to take precise and deliberate action with absolute faith and conviction. If we know that we want to grow a 6-figure agency and we want to work from anywhere in the world and we want to be making X amount of dollars per month, right? This is where then we need to take that action. Because if you don't know what you want and the exact result of that, then how are you going to take action towards something, right? It's just like being on a boat and not having any kind of captain or any kind of sense of direction. And you're letting the waves, right, and the ocean just take you wherever it wants to take you, right? You need to know exactly what you want. You need to be able to take direct action with absolute faith and conviction that you're going to make that a reality. And so then we have feedback. So we know what we want, we're taking action, and then when we take action, we're going to gather data and we're going to find what's working and what's not working. And then we're going to be able to modify and adjust and correct our course, right? Because if we don't know that something is working or that we're going in the right direction, then how are we going to course correct that, right? And then finally, we have flexibility. So we know what we want, we're taking deliberate action, and then we're gathering data and we're modifying and adjusting. And then we have to be able to be flexible to be able to adjust and modify and pivot when we need to, right? Based on feedback. Let's say we're doing something and we're taking this action and it's not getting the result that we want, right? And we're seeing that through our feedback. Well, we need to be flexible enough to be like, hey, this isn't working. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Let's adjust and let's modify and let's pivot to a different direction, to something else, right? And let's try this, see if this works. So knowing exactly what we want, taking deliberate and precise action towards that, gathering data, and being able to understand that there's no such thing as failure, only feedback, and then having that flexibility to modify, adjust, and pivot when we need to based on the feedback that we're getting. And so that's going to be it here for rewiring your brain for maximum success. And we'll see you on the next one.